YouTube is going to behave with me. All these extra little details. Well, at least I'm alive on Twitch, it looks like. So Trinair is saying welcome back. That means that's working. But what? But YouTube, why you gotta be so cruel? Aha! And suddenly I'm here. Hello, everyone. I'm alive. Yes. Alive and streaming. It's been a success. Sorry about that delay. I forgot that because YouTube put in these new stream events requirements, you have to change a setting and restream every time you start something new. It's just another way they like to make you jump through hoops, or perhaps to weed out the technologically impaired. Oh, and thank you, Unknown1124, my newest follower. Greatly appreciate it. And I'm glad you enjoy After the Fact. I've also been very heartened today to see people enjoying my After the Fact on Princess Trixie Sparkle. Was unsure how a review of a fan work would be received. Because, I mean, what I said, I don't want to be cruel to creators. I want to celebrate that people are putting forth their own creativity and spirit. But hopefully, if I put forth a good thought, that can inspire even more creativity. Dem's the goals. All right, so now we are all together on both Twitch and YouTube hearing things. And I see some familiar names and, well, icons. I'm not sure if I know everyone by face yet. I see Norma Ruiz Galladro, who I probably just ruined your name again. I'm just bad at that. Caddy218, who's been screaming for my death in the chat. Mostly because I think she's still hungry for le turkey. And Sweetie Bloom, who hears me opening a can of Diet Pepsi. This is a dry, but not too dry, stream. Thank you very much. I see Gojalion91. Good to see you. And also welcome back to Twitter. I see Josh Brony. I know Trinary is in the chat. And the Blue Griffin. Over on Twitch, there's Helsing Ghost 1. And let's see here. River Delim. That's a lot of E's. Also, Fanman Third, welcome. And hello, Komodra Steel and Chum to Stay. So many others. I'm glad everyone's here. So, what am I doing in this somewhat post-Thanksgiving, very exhausted stream? Well, I'm continuing work on the Rainbow Crew, who I learned does not want a cutie mark, which makes my job a little easier. Yes, the potential of non-cutie mark. Oh, Crimson Rain 1199. Thank you for the donation. 1199. Guess I really am tired if I'm not flowing too well. I don't know what's going on, but the energy just left me after I posted my video. It's sort of like you cross the finish line and you're just like, oh, I'm happy, but I'm tired. Anywho, let's see here. We need to sort these out. Smug 1, Smug 2. Oh goodness, this will not do. I need some order. I need a script. I need a layer sort script. Pardon me while I run that real quick. So I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Those of you who are in at least United States, I believe that's an American concept, though with a very dark history. I will say I think part of the reason I'm feeling a little low is because there was some hard news that hit me and my family on Thanksgiving. I learned that one family member suffered a medical attack, and really now it's just a waiting game. And I learned that another friend lost his grandfather the morning of Thanksgiving. Export? No. So those were hard news, but to show that life will always hit you with good and bad. I also learned that a cousin this morning gave birth to a new baby girl. And so while mourn the ending of one life, could celebrate the start of another. That is just part of life in general. So let's see here. Oh. And now, oh my, this is a lot of T's. Real Metem is now following. Real Metem, thank you. So, pardon me if I sound morose. I guess I'm somewhat contemplative as well. Contemplative? There we go. Contemplative. I'm smart. There we go. So go resources, sort. I require layer certification. Won't let me sort because everything is hidden. And then I had this, and there we go. File, script. So basically, it's just something I've been thinking about, and now I'm looking to get some work done and sort of get back into that creative feel good, which is there's a book, the War of Art, where it talks about just sort of that creative inspiration that really amazes us and leaves us like this guy. It's sort of renewing and it's almost otherworldly. And welcome, Josh Brony. Thank you for following. Alrighty. Chaos Feed, you're offering me turkey? Do you not know how offensive that is? Don't you know I can affect my voice like this? Let's see here. There was a question earlier. What percentage of bird am I? You know, each one. Honestly, I've sort of given up quantifying. If there's a bird in existence, I will lay claim to its ancestry. Why not? I am the ultimate turducken. But that means there's probably some turkey in there, so Thanksgiving should be a horrible experience for my OC. Ah, yes, it was Logan Care asking, what percentage of bird? Oh, now, everyone in the chat, don't listen to Sweetie Bloom. Hugs for me are great, but give hugs to Sweetie Bloom as well. Yes, hug her. Hug her until she can't hug no more. Well, Thaddeus Risher, calling me a chicken is not offensive. It is actually a biological fact. So, there's no worries there. Let's see here. I need a surprised tuckin'. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Tuckity, tuck, tuck, tuck. Oh, I also need to start up some music because, well, if I'm playing by my lonesome, I want people to have a little mellowness. Hana-chan meow. What do you mean no hugs? I understand social distance is an important factor right now, but still, it's digital hugs. The only contagion there is positivity. And more smooth music. Oh, it's all smooth. I'm slipping out of my chair. Oh, Crimson Rain 1199. Gonna hug us both. Well played. Yes, well played. Oh. Silly me. I've already got surprise talk. Okay. Well, that's one less thing that needs doing. Surprise talk. Actually, the only thing I need left is Weepy. I don't know why I make all the OCs cry. But by gosh, if my OC's gonna cry, everyone's gonna cry. Gosh darn it. Seth Moss wondering with my banner at the bottom, when is karma gonna come my way? Well, Seth, it's probably on its way right now. Express delivery. I know how this works. Computer, you're pulling shenanigans on me. Here we go. There we are. Oh, and welcome to CatG9917. 9,917 might be the more accurate way to put it. Sorry, everyone. I'm not sure about the internet slang for when there's a bunch of numbers. I mean, is there elite speak that I'm missing? It's very possible. Dare I say likely? How dare? Weepy. For some reason, all I can ever think of is Neon Genesis Evangelion Abridged. My little Karibo. I want to Weepy. I actually have watched and rewatched that a lot lately just because I find it hilarious to hear Gendo Ikari as Mr. Burns. He hears Ode to Joy. Smithers, do tell the neighbors to turn down that rock and roll music. It's scarily perfect. Uh-oh. Actual SBNC just saw Uncommon Bond review with Firebrand, where I think I did a pretty effective job of driving him bonkers, as is my pension. And yes, It's funny, as I think we learned during the stream with Anti-Seed last weekend, I go on other people's channels and I think I tend to be a bit more risque in my humor, for good and ill. So I'll probably pay for that by the truckload down the line. Or tomorrow, who knows. Karma's weird. Ooh, trying to say my favorite Mr. Burns quote. Let's see, my favorite Mr. Burns. I mean, he said some pretty fantastically awful things. I mean, if you want to get into, I mean, his song "See This Vest" was pretty hilarious. But in terms of a quote, you know, it's kind of funny when he. Let's see here. It's when he got crushed in the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, and just before his body was grafted onto Homer's, he said, "Slight headache, loss of appetite." I don't know. The way he delivered that was just too perfect. Ooh, Zero Breaker. Welcome. I'm afraid I have no zeros for you to break, but you're welcome all the same. Thank you for following. Wait, Zero, isn't that like zero in a dialect? Oh, Goji Lion asking me my favorite fantasy series of all time. But there's so many to choose from. Why are you making me choose? Let's see here. Well, I mean, Lord of the Rings is like the definitive, but I didn't really get into it as much. I will say, disagreements with J.K. Rowling's politics aside, Harry Potter is still one of my favorite fantasy stories. I've reread that series several times. I can't say that with many others. Though I will say right now I'm enjoying the Lightbringer series. I am on the sixth and final book, Burning White, now. The Burning White, yes. Now let's see here. Now I need to weepy talking. So, although honestly, what I really need right now, and I know this is going to sound weird, I've enjoyed a lot of fantasy books lately. I want a good sci-fi. Last sci-fi I read left a really bitter aftertaste for me, so I need something good. I like a really good space opera, but I don't know where to look. So my attempts to search online for suggestions haven't succeeded just yet. If anyone out there knows a really good fantasy sci-fi series, please let me know. Oh, now, CatG9917. Oh, she's calling for a hunt of the glorified pigeon. I sense a lightning bliss agent in my midst. But really, do you really want to cook me? Do you really want to make me... What? Because you will. Let's see. Let's see here. Crimson Rain's been watching Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Oh, that was their generation's Power Rangers, which is kind of funny. I mean, I get to brag that I was conveniently born in time to watch Mighty Morphin when it first came out. So I say, I watched the definitive. Well, that's hardly anything to be proud of if it's just a chance of my birth date. So, yeah, I'm interested. How well recognized are the subsequent Power Rangers seasons after Mighty Morphin? You show a picture of the Power Rangers, most people will know what I'm talking about. But if you show Dino Thunder, they'll still probably say it's Power Rangers, but will they know it's that particular version? Seth Moss, good point. CatG9917 could be a Mary Sue agent. Oh dear, there's a lot of people calling for the hunt against me. Oh my, how terrifying. Let's see here. Stephen EXE, hey, 333. Rare or charred? Rare. That way I can still berate you as you eat me. How dare you? And what kind of seasoning is this? Is that pesto? Ah, how common. Alrighty, I do believe that I have finished the body. The 3/4 turn, which I still consider to be the most important pose of the set. Don't say Silver-Quill. But I do need, yeah, let's see. There you are. Is 3/4 body. Needs to be pointing. Ta-da! And I already did it, which means if I do this right, in a moment I will get... Uh-oh, Thaddeus Risher pulling Silence of the Lambs on me. I look delicious with fava beans and the Chianti. Welcome, Preston Cox. Ooh, now Champ to Stay, the favorite animated Christmas special. Because Muppet Christmas Carol and Scrooge are my two favorite live actions. There's that modification notice. Bing! I said, bing, come on. Don't give me no spinny beach ball of doom. No, let's see here. But animated Christmas special. You know, it's funny. Hey Arnold did a Christmas episode, and I don't watch Hey Arnold. I just caught it. I caught this completely by chance. But it's this man who was separated from his daughter. He sent her, I believe it was during the Vietnam War. He sent his daughter to America without him because he wanted her to have a better future. And he was in America trying to find her but never could. Arnold, with just kindness and unexpected help from an antagonist, you reunited them. And it was just a wonderfully touching story where even a character who's usually very antagonistic is being very kind. And I just thought, oh, that's wonderful. So I would say that's a pretty high up on my list. I do also owe Trinary. He sent me a link to the Loud House and their Christmas song. And so that was pretty fun to hear. I enjoyed that too. But then, again, I only saw the song. I haven't seen the actual special. I guess I've got some stuff to catch up on, as ever. All right, Rainbow Crew. We're going to make you angry. Although right now, this is more disbelief. Buh? Preston, what would I do if Firebrand tried to cook me? I would make as many puns as possible before the end. Because I want that meal to taste of bitterness and lingering resentment. Of course, it'd be funny if he's sitting down to a nice cooked Silver-Quill and suddenly Silver-Quill sits down next to him. So, killed another clone, huh? That's nice. Ideas forming. Maybe that should be my Christmas special. Everyone tries to kill Silver-Quill and cook him for the holiday, but he just keeps popping back up. I will say I don't think I should do a Christmas Carol parody. That's been done to death. Even My Little Pony has done their version. It's very rare that I see a fresh twist on the Christmas Carol. Mostly because I'm not sure everyone understands what the Christmas Carol really was. It's not just about Scrooge and his reformation. It's also a critique of the contemporary culture. Champ, I've not yet seen the Animaniacs reboot. I need to get a Hulu account to do so. Let's see here. Just looking through. Let's see. Cat G's looking for shotgun. Still screaming for my death. Riverdale-eam. I'm not sure what... or is it Riverdale? Yeah, that makes more sense. You can't kill the glorified pigeon if the response generator is still around. Oh, the respawn generator. That's darn autocorrect, I'm sure. Let's see here. I never needed a respawn generator. My character bounces back from death rather seamlessly. If anything, maybe once upon a time I should have made the joke, oh, you guys are worried about your respawn generator being out again? How sad. Meanwhile, I'm crossing off life number 77. I'll be in trouble if I ever get to life number 666. Let's see here. Noah Harris. What MLP episode do you love the most? And what Shrek movie do you love the most? Well, let's see here. For My Little Pony, even though I will readily accept that there are stories that tugged more on the heartstrings or stories that really inspired, my favorite episode remains Sisterhood Social. It was just early enough that it really made me think, hey, this show really gets it. This show's really well done. It was like what sold me on being a fan. That and getting to see the creativity within the Brony fandom. Now, I will say that there have been other episodes like A Perfect Pair where it's like, oh, I could not argue about the superior episode. And yet, what a happy choice as it's or a happy dilemma, as it's both, I think, are wonderful episodes. Now, as for my favorite Shrek, I think it would be Shrek the Second. That was the one that had the most fun and all these great moments. I mean, I could quote it ad nauseum. But I won't, because I don't want to drive y'all bonkers just yet. That comes to the next review. So, in fact, I think I should give an update, because you all have sat with me as I worked on Pinky the Fool, and yet I posted Princess Trixie Sparkle. I was trying to get that as close to the release of Princess Trixie Part 2 as I could. Now that that is complete, I'm back on track to doing Pinky the Fool. So expect that next. And as I'm pretty far along, my hope is I won't be making everyone wait as long as has often been the case between my videos. Of course, Trainer, I'm a naughty bird. I'm such a naughty bird. Crimson Rain noting that at this point I've probably become Cerberus' favorite chew toy. I guess that depends on if there's another Cerberus guarding the underworld. Or, oh wow, what if Tartarus really is the afterlife? And ponies can cross it if they wish. For you see, hell is other ponies. Ooh, I just got deep. Oh, there's a Maddie in the chat. Hello, Maddie. How are you doing? Trinary saying hell is season 6. Well, everyone's got their least favorite season. Steven EXE, hey, 333. You can shoot and cook me all you want, there'll be another. I'm on life 78. Sorry, champ, I have not yet updated. I've still got these handheld sound effect machines. I keep looking for like a physical one, but all the rage seems to be digital sound effect machines now. Whoops. Well, I'll goof this. There we go. So apparently I need to research if I can use that sound effect with these streams and Discord, because that would be important. I need everyone to hear my sound effects and just see how everyone's like, oh no, why does he do this? Why? Thaddeus, I'm afraid your threat is invalid. Bliss knows I call her cute on a regular basis. Therefore, she cannot stop me. Angry copy? Oh, did I? Wow. I'm getting all mixed up tonight. Looks like I gotta do that angry mouth one more time. So, here we go. But if that's the worst thing that happens, I'm in good standing. Let's see. Would the Joker team up with Chrysalis, Tyrek, and Cozy Glow? he'd only team up with them insofar as he could get something he wanted out of them. As soon as it's convenient, he would turn on them. And I have no doubt Joker would be the one to turn on them, not the other way around. See, Grogar Discord was too arrogant. He assumed that being the trickster, no one else could trick him. Well, they proved him wrong. Joker, he knows about dishonesty. He knows that they're planning to scam him. He would just wait. But of course, it wouldn't be fun for him unless Batman was in the same universe. So, Batman and Twilight Sparkle team up. There's a crossover. DC, IDW, get on some talks there, please. Goja Lion asking, favorite version of Rodan? Well, honestly, the painter. I mean, I feel like he doesn't get enough press. How hard must it be for art fanatics to hear everyone talk about Rodan and they mean a giant pterodactyl? But in truth, I would say that the Rodan of his premiere movie was probably the best, as it's kind of intimidating what it proposes. I mean, you start off and there are these giant insects that are bigger than a human and already lethal. And then Rodan hits the scene, and these beings are a light snack for him. I mean, that scene where Rodan hatches was just, well, give me a bit of the Ghiblies. Oh, there they are. The Ghiblies. Ghibli. And then, of course, the ending quote of that movie, are there not more terrifying monsters in the darkness? And Godzilla's off to the side like, hey-oh, I'll see you in a little bit. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, a Wilhelm scream would be useful. Huh. Komodra, your nuclear punch attack will not work, for I go green. Let's see. If the Joker got turned to stone, I imagine he'd want to go out on a laugh. He'd want that ultimate... Yes. Come on, computer. Stop asking me... Stop prompting me, dang it. There we go. Joker would want to go off on a laugh and be immortalized with that laugh. I still remember in Batman, Superman, when they first meet in the animated series, and World's Finest, and Batman Mask of Phantasm, even when looking at death, Joker wants to go out on a laugh. You know what? I'm going to take this angry and hold it in reserve, because that'll make a good sad, but anger, genuine anger. There we go. That's looking angry. Yes. Let's see here. Crimson Rain wondering, why am I the only one in the Twitch chat who doesn't seek your death? You haven't known me long enough, that's why. Oh, Drinky Buddy's in the chat. Good to see Drinky Buddy over on Le Twitch. So, I'm glad you're enjoying some Thanksgiving leftovers. And also, always appreciate a pun. Confused, angry, talk. Let's have a little talky talk. And I guess having said sad, now let's have some sad. Mr. Strong, sad. Let's see here. Do I believe in the magic of Christmas? Connor, oh boy. Cartelape? Nope. Cartel Tepe. The magic of Christmas. Okay. Honestly, I believe in people and their ability to work that magic. When people give of their time, when they donate to charity, when they are just a little bit more generous than anyone would expect, than any cynic would give them credit. That itself is a magic, and I do believe in that. I don't believe in that Christmas everything will just work out immediately because it's Christmas. I believe you have to work to make... Actually, there's that great song, Even a Miracle Needs a Hand. Gosh, I used to watch that I don't remember the name of that special, though. It was on Disney all the time when I was a kid. And then even South Park did a parody or homage, depending on your perspective. But even A Miracle Needs it. Now I've got to look that up when the stream is done. Thanks, Connor. You've given me homework. Shaw. And this is where I utilize... Oh, I did it again. I don't know why. I guess I want to wipe out anger. There we go. Portrait. Come on now. Don't be finicky with me, computer. It's another thing I enjoyed of Evangelion Bridge. Oi! You start with me, computer! Stop starting! You best stop starting! Yep. I don't know why. I guess I've been in a silly mood for that. Let's see. 1, 2. Oh, every time someone wants to kill me, take a shot? Oh my goodness, no. My liver alone would do me in. Thank you, champ. That Even a Miracle Needs a Hand comes from 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. What is my version of a worse nightmare, Thaddeus? You know, ever since I was a kid, the face huggers from Aliens, they're in my nightmares, usually chasing me or catching me by surprise. They're probably the scariest thing. I actually find them more frightening than the alien itself. Oh, Emma Volpe. Is it like envelope? Well played. How do I come up with my jokes? Honestly, it all depends on it begins with a thought, a reaction to the scenario, and finding the absurdity in that or asking a question. And then increasing the absurdity or the reaction to an 11. So, case in point, I look at a Mentai and I think, wow, those eyes are a little creepy because they don't blink and they're just these round staring eyes. Well, take that up to 11. I will scream in terror and be like, oh my god, the demon has come to reap our souls. Repent! Repent! There you go. So that's my modus operandi. Silver-Quill is very often an exaggeration of my own slightly lower volume reactions. Hello, Black Belt Gamer 98, Fire Spitter. What a title. Let's see here. Do I believe in Santa? Well, I believe in Santa the way I believe in the archetypes of the warrior and the mage and the healer, the Hetaira. I believe in the idea of a character and what they represent. Let's see here. I am the Timmy. Do you use pillows made from your own feathers? I think I'd be allergic to that. Nope, it's strictly non-allergenic for me, thank you. Let's see here. Confused talks. Pardon me as I look down my list. Glee. Yes, one little glee in our lives. You know what? Normally I cap it off with just drawing these little sort of, I don't even know what you would call these crescents that show that your eyes are sort of lifting, that you're in a happier mood. I don't know what they would call this expression, but I'm going to do something a little different for Rainbow Crew. See if he likes this. Eddie, have a good night. We're cheering for you. Well, Cotton Lum, which is scarier, face huggers or the thing from the thing? Both are terrifying in their own respects. I mean, the thing is, it kills your sense of self. It absorbs you into it. So who you are dies, but then there's the question of, are you still conscious or aware in this forced gestalt, which is pretty terrifying itself. Oh, welcome, Mara Hart. Welcome indeed. But the facehugger, I mean, even if you... Here's the thing. In Alien, the folks didn't know what was going on. As far as they knew, they were out of the woods when the facehugger just crawled off and died. They didn't know what was coming. And I have since heard that even the cast didn't know what was going to happen next. It was a closely guarded secret. So when the alien bursts out, not only is your sense of, woo, I dodged a bullet, gone, but a new horror is sprung. So I guess because it's the horror you know versus the horror that could be. So I still think the facehuggers are a little scarier. But if I learned more about the thing and what it can do, I may have to reevaluate that ranking. It's kind of funny how we don't have a lot of cosmic horror, do we? Alien, The Thing, Predator, kinda, but the most terrifying thing of that is its sequels, in that they exist. Should have kept it at 1, like the Highlander. Ooh, this is energetic. Buncha, buncha, dee, dee, dee. Let's see here. Ooh, would I rather it be raining tacos or hailing tacos? Well, raining tacos, champ, because if it's hailing, then that means there's enough chill in the air that they are actually frozen and can further dent a car. I'm not a fan of that, thank you very much. My car has been caught in a few hailstorms, and I've had to get hail damage repair. So, no, thank you. Oh, 1 sec. Draw inside. Let's see here. What do I think of Cheetah from the DC universe? Honestly, I know she's really tied to Wonder Woman. In fact, she's probably the most recurring Wonder Woman antagonist I'm aware of. Or at least the most well-known. But as far as I know, she's a cheetah. She's fast, has claws. She's a menace to anyone without superpowers or anyone without superhero training. I'm sure she'd be quite lethal. But against a world of superheroes, I have to ask, what is Cheetah's greatest menace to Wonder Woman? Is she seriously cunning as well? Let's see. While I wait for people to... Oh, Crimson Rain, now you're downloading again? Well, thank you. Many thanks. But let's see here. Riverdaleum. What was your favorite moment in the TF2 Analysis Anarchy series? Well, let's see here. I will admit somewhat selfishly that they often involve jokes I made because they aren't... there aren't a lot of those, unfortunately. I really loved Silver's transformation into Angry Quill. Just because, one, I tore my throat up pretty bad doing that scream. I don't know how the Dragon Ball voice actors do it. But I just love the unexpected, and I enjoyed seeing a few reaction videos where people also saw that wonderful transformation moment. This actually, there was a question earlier, am I ever going to do an origin of Silver-Quill? And the truth is, at one point, I had an idea for a TF2 video where we talk about the duality of Silver-Quill's nature, that he is simultaneously a predator lineage, lions and eagles, but he's also got this horse herd mentality, and that it's that dual nature that causes such conflict with him, which is why he's a little bonkers. Unfortunately, that joke got reduced to a cutaway gag proposal, and I was like, yeah, I don't think this is going to happen. So I'll have to revisit that idea down the line. Let's see here. Oh, Emma Velope. Emma Volpe. Sorry. Volpe? Ooh, Emma Volpe. What are your least favorite reboots and spin-offs? Well, there are many. I mean, case in point, Pinky and the Brain spun off from Animaniacs, which I found delightful. Then Frasier spun off from Cheers, and I love that. I don't know if the various Star Treks would be considered spin-offs, as they are all independent, though there's often a hail and farewell. I'll tell you one of my least favorite spin-offs or sequels was Voltron Force. This is where, Vincent Tong is in this, and Vincent is a really good guy. He does not deserve to be Daniel in Voltron Force, because Daniel was just annoying. So annoying. Most of the kids in Voltron Force were very annoying. So I really didn't like Voltron Force. The ultimate crime it committed was that it made Voltron weak. There were times where I was like, why even bother forming him when the lions are far more effective in this show? And that shouldn't be how you set up your superhero. Oh yeah, it's more effective if they don't get together. Wow, that sounds like a curse against shipping. How dare. How dare Voltron Force. So that's why whenever someone complains about Voltron Legendary Defender, it's not that your criticisms are invalid. I just know it could have been worse. Let's see here. Let's see here. Crimson Rain. Legendary Defender is the reboot that everyone really loves, even though in its later seasons, I think folks got more critical. And, hey, it was trying to do maybe more than was feasible. The redemption of Hagar was a tough sell. Let's see here. Can I get... What's this now? Oh, this is weird. Huh. Had a duplicate going on there. Let's see. I wonder if that's part of all these things. Oh, there you are. There you are. Get on in there. Marvelous. Oh, yes, Komodo Steel. I watched the new adventures of Johnny Quest. I didn't watch as much of the old adventures, so that was back in the day when computer graphics were in their true infancy. Although I'll tell you true, my favorite moment, one of my favorite moments on Cartoon Network, is actually a promo where Beast Wars was coming onto Toonami for a week, in taking over Johnny Test's time slot. So they edited it together to look like Rat Trap was taking aim and shot Johnny Quest off a cliff. I shouldn't have enjoyed it that much, but I did. Prism Shard, my opinion, the fastest speedster. As far as I know, the Flash remains the fastest. He's the master of the Speed Force, and basically he's reached the speed where basically time doesn't mean anything to him. Where he can actually go 2 seconds into the future in an instant. Just time travel at will. That says something. I'm not aware of any other speedster who's achieved that level of, quite frankly, ridiculous power. Have I ever heard of the Flying Scotsman? Isn't that the ship of Davy Jones? No, that's the Flying Dutchman. No, I'm less familiar with the Flying Scotsman, though. Ah, Crimson Rain asking clarification. Which Flash? I forget. There are several. Wasn't it Wally West who... No, wait. It was Barry Allen, Wally West... And is that the youngest Flash? Yeah, I believe it's Wally that is the one who set some of the most ridiculously awesome bars. But I need a reminder. Sometimes I'm not caught up. I know the most about Flash from the Justice League animated series, where he was one of the best characters. That's why I was very happy to use him as a clip in my latest video. Huh, there we go. All right. Riverdale. Can someone make an evil version of Silver-Quill? I I think I am my own evil version. I'm the thoroughly evil version. I'm my own worst enemy, which is rather telling and true to life. I'm having an existential crisis. All right, let's see here. All right, now I will not undo my previous work with this. Singing along with the song, even there are no lyrics to sing. Oh well. You want? Oh, Sweetie Blue wants to see a saintly Silver-Quill. Yea, good people, peace unto thee. But no, brothers and sisters, I'm packing. Saintly, but not that saintly. Okay. To Pig Boss, good to see you. Saying the Flying Scotsman is a train and a character from Thomas the Tank. Of course it is. Of course it is. I can't get away from Thomas. I know very little of Thomas, and yet I can't escape. Don't forget, you're here forever. Welcome to the Hotel Thomasfornia. You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. Any thoughts on the nightmare form for my collab with Golden Fox? Did I do a nightmare version with Golden Fox? I remember I had a rage version, but I don't think I had my nightmare version. Let's see here. It was with Auntie C and Sweetie Bloom that I had my Halloween nightmare version. Let's see here. I need to turn this music down just a little. Not that low. There we go. Oh, hey! Well done, sweetie. She makes a pun. My saintly form can't make it a habit. Well done, ye. Alrighty. There we go. There's an ultimate kidding me. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Let's see here. I think I'll just borrow the sad mouth and futz with that. Here we go. Yes, always have the sound effects. Life is more fun with sound effects, even if you're just making them with your mouth. Oh, do princesses dream of magic sheep? Oh, now I'm... thank you, Draconis Archon. Yes, that... Wait, that wasn't that wasn't with Golden, though. That was with Voice of Reason. And my nightmare form was sort of this big hulking monster. With a slightly underwhelming roar. Let's see here. Yep. So I had that monster, which was... that was a fun little aside. I continue to reevaluate how much effort I'm putting into, say, drawing that monster versus getting a good chunk of the script done. I fear if I want to ever get through Season 9 and the rest of MLP before the next generation starts, I need to redirect my energies in question. You know, honestly, it's always been the combo of chocolate and vanilla that is most sweet. Often chocolate I find a little bit too bitter, but vanilla takes it off the sharpness just right. Strawberry, I'm afraid, is out in the cold. Let's see here. I feel like that eye is a little off. Kind of like when a person has one ear that's slightly higher than another, which I believe I do. There's a random factoid for the day. Kamotra saying I'm already dead. Technically true. Let's see here. Doing great. Just doing a quick search through of comments. Apologies if I missed a question. Trinary, if I get my ears lowered, that's going to involve a lot of screaming and stitching. Believe me, I'm not paying for that. Especially not in this environment. I haven't been to a haircut all year. I just have a pair of clippers and a daringness to buzz cut. Doggone if I didn't do it again. I keep undoing the work I've already created. Not a night for my coordination, it seems. But that's okay. That is why there's the undo button, which is the single greatest command that I wish could be put into real life. Undo. Undo. Oh, champ, I have watched Whose Line Is It Anyway in both America and Britain. Loved them both. Though I guess because I first saw it in the British version, that's my favorite. Also because everything's funnier with a British accent. It's so dignified sounding. Oh, Commodra. Of course I've heard of Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I watched that as part of my childhood. Back in the 2nd grade, I believe. I've been thrilled to hear that they got an appearance in DuckTales, but maybe one day they'll have the whole shebang. Let's see here. Got the sad... smirking. Whoops, did I... Wow, I think I've... Oh, no wonder. What did I do? Okay, we got angry talk. Got confused talk. Confusion. Sad talking. Kidding me talking. Sad. Angry. Got angry talk. With no glee talk. What did I must have done something wrong again. Well, no one doing this, but thankfully, this is one of those things that you can fix pretty easily. Let's see here. There we go. Let's get this talkie talk back. Then we'll restore the neutrality. Let's see. Whoops. Don't want to do that. I gotta be honest, looking at this character, the combination of green and the color of the mouth, I'm actually thinking of Kermit the Frog, which is just fantastic. There we are. Let's see here. Lightning Dash asking, do I read the MLP comics a lot? I have read every single comic that IDW has put out thus far as part of the reviews. So, what can I say? I do really enjoy them. Some of them fall short of the mark or have an issue, pun intended, that diminishes my enjoyment. But then you bounce back. There are good ones and there are bad ones, and I think it's important to note that's true of every entertainment medium on the planet. I think every story has an off day, which is fine. It's just a matter of do you have too many off days in a row? There's the fear. My favorite kind of humor, asks Thaddeus Swisher. Well, I mean, I have several. I love slapstick. I love wordplay. I love absurd situations. But I think slapstick will always be one of my favorites because it is universal. Doesn't matter your language. You can laugh when someone takes a pratfall or is just the right kind amount of pain to make you wince, but not to make you think, "Oh, this is cruel." All right. So now that I got neutral, now I'll get smug, which is very easy for me. So I would say slapstick is my favorite form of comedy. Yes, actual SB. The Good, the Bad, the Ponies was that's probably my least favorite of the IDW comics. But I only recently learned that Katie Cook, the writer, she was going through a lot of trouble, personal struggles during that time, and so the comics were not front and center, and that might explain a lot. It doesn't make the stories good or excused retroactively. It just says, "Hey, a reminder: these people are human beings. They're going to have bad days and altering concerns." I worry when people make talking about the comics a personal attack. I fail to see any good that comes from that. Whoop. Make the mask. Here we go. Make the mask. Do a little clipping. Get dynamite. Get dynamite. Hmm. Oh, that was odd music. Would I flirt with Chrysalis? No, no. Funny enough, I'm not attracted to the bad girls. Just not of interest to me. Let's see here, what was it? Everyone jokes in the 80s. Everyone talk about the 80s and like G.I. Joe. They joke. There's always a Baroness joke. I mean, oh, she was so beautiful. It's like, really? Okay, I'll take your word for it. My current thoughts on the Yaks as champs to stay. Much improved from their introduction. The thing is that now it's more, I'm not a big fan of Rutherford, as he's only had a few positive moments in the show in the later seasons. When he got introduced, he was a warmonger and spoiled brat, in my opinion. Then they had Pinky visiting Yakakistan and not asking for trouble. And this guy's so proud he's going to condemn his own people. It wasn't until really Yona and the other Yaks got to say their piece. It's like, okay, now I'm seeing the better parts of this culture. Really, I'm all for a coup of the hippogriffs and a coup of the Yaks. I would gladly support. I don't have to destabilize those countries. They're pretty well on their way. I mean, come on. Queen Novo, I feel like she should have a little bit of criticism for not aiding the ponies from her own people. Actually, now that I think about it, that would be an interesting story. Does Novo go to Twilight, the very pony she was in conflict with at one point, to say, look, I need help getting my people to understand or overcoming these differences. Can you, the very princess I asked, I kicked out, to help me? That would be something. Fanfic writers, attack! Okay, Chaos King 599. My favorite MLP character is and likely forever shall be Fluttershy. She's my fave. Let's see here. Over on Twitch, we have let's see here, Steven EXE Hey 333. Make new friends but keep Discord is a good episode. That was a lot of fun. Trinary noting in my channeling my inner Marxist. Quite possible. Quite possible. Though I'm not necessarily calling for a coup in favor of a communist utopia or a communist ideal. Just have some leaders who have less ego driven, which I realize is such a difficult thing to say. I mean, even if you're not ego driven at the start, being in that position surely must tempt everyone, bring out the inner egotist. My thoughts on, okay, well, let's see here. Thoughts on Kirby. Are we talking Jack Kirby, a comic author, I believe? Or Kirby, the little pink guy who vacuums everything up and could even defeat Majin Buu, according to Death Battle? Honestly, I have no strong opinions one way or another. I watched a little bit of Kirby Right Back at You, the anime, but I don't know him that well. I only played one game, an old, and I mean old, Game Boy. This was back when Game Boy was just in greens. What am I drinking, Preston? Just a Diet Pepsi. Graveyard Shift. Are you familiar with Diogenes? Was that a Greek philosopher or a Roman philosopher? Wait. Let's see here. While I'm waiting for an answer, was Making Friends We Keep Discord fun because of Tree Hugger? I think it was fun because of a lot of reasons. In fact, Tree Hugger is rather low on it. Most of it is driven by Discord and his jealousy and Mod. Mod did a great job in that, especially Mod the Heckler. Pardon me as I cough real quick. There we go. So I think Tree Hugger was actually one of the quieter aspects of that. And note she didn't have a speaking role since. Plenty of cameos, but I don't think she's ever spoken since. Wonder if she would be a good teacher for Sandbar. He's a mellow kid, but he could learn a few things. Let's see here. The father of cynical school in Greek philosophy. Huh. I haven't read too much on him, mostly because modern day cynicism may be a very different context than what Diogenes put forth. I find, here's the thing, being cynical, being pessimistic, you may be right more often than not, but you're still powerless to change anything. I think that the people who do successfully make changes are perhaps aren't usually cynical. Maybe they have a view of a flaw, but they also have this belief that they can somehow change it or combat it. Modern day cynicism seems to be very fatalistic. It doesn't want to change. It just wants to say, see, I told you so. Nicole Bordelou, I have not heard of this Beta Man or the new Bottle Man. Now let's see here. Lightning Dash, would I flirt with Celestia to make Luna jealous? I'd flirt with Celestia to make Firebrand jealous. Just have him screaming, keep your shipping away from my fave! And I did it again. I wiped out the neutral expression. What is wrong with me? There we go. Here we go. Portrait surprised. Sweetie raises a good point. If optimism is you assume everything's going to be fine, you won't fight for it. So what you have, if you're presented with an absolute of inaction through optimism and an absolute of inaction through cynicism, then truly the best would be the compromise. Recognize the bad and things could go wrong, but believe enough that you can make it happen. Ergo, too much of anything is a vice. A good point. Let's see. Champ, I like Wiz more because he's the of Death Battle, because Wiz is the brains and the motivator. Boomstick, he's the humor, but the humor is nothing without a straight man. Now, Preston, I would not heckle Trixie in the middle of a show. That I find is cruel. That's trying to make it all about you in the midst of someone else's performance. No. I would, however, troll her later. I think that's only fair. So you're going to take this mouth. And just, there I go. Ah! And let's add a little bit of this. And a little bit of this. And we make it like this. Pardon me as I go silent for a minute. Just getting deep into thought. There we go. Whoop. There we go. That looks properly shocked. Now, in the midst of all this, I forgot to actually just have him talk. Let's see here. Lightning Dash is apparently dying. Don't die, Lightning Dash. You have so much to live for. Like watching the rest of this stream. Yes, that's very egocentric. Why do you ask? Lightning Dash asking fame and misfortune or a horseshoe-in for as the lesser of two evils or the more frustrating. You know, it's kind of funny. I would actually consider a horseshoe-in to be the more frustrating because it's all condensed around Trixie. It's this swell. The frustrating thing about fame and misfortune is that I agree. I've reconsidered my perspective. I do think that episode presented a straw man of fandoms in general. At the same time, however, I feel like it does raise a valid point. And I know that M.A. Larson thoroughly disassociates. He does not like that episode himself. So this is not because I want to be nice to him. I genuinely believe there's a point that, yes, you put forth a creative work, it's going to attract some negative, even toxic attention. I wish it weren't that way, but it is. So the episode is an incomplete presentation of a fandom. I actually think Stranger Than Fanfiction did a better job. But as a caution of what a creative might experience, there is some merit. A horseshoe-in is just Trixie being full of herself for 20 minutes, and you're waiting for her to just get a clue. Or for Starlight to stop coddling her and say, yeah, you aren't going to be it, Trixie. Oh, Nicole Bordelou asks, locking me in a room with my 3 least favorite characters. Well, let's see here. That would be Princess Cadence, who would just be willing to sit and chat. Crafty Crate, the guy who tried to scam Fluttershy and then blame her for it. It's like, yeah, I'd probably beat him up. And Cadence might try to stop me, but not with her whole heart. And who would be the third? Least favorite character, who is the third? Truth is, there are very few characters there are characters I'm meant to dislike. It's when it's a character you're supposed to like or feel ambivalent about. But who would be the third? Another character I just really like. Oh, I hate seeing this character. I'm really going to have to think on that. I guess it would be Shining Armor, as I'm hard on him because, much like Cadence, I feel like his potential was really untapped. And yet at the same time, he, by virtue of actually more screen time than his wife, I feel like he actually came out better. So, you know, having the married couple right there, they're probably just going to talk, enjoy some quality time, and I'll just be beating up Crafty Crate for being a complete and utter bastard. Let's see here. Let's see here. Mara Hart asking, what are my thoughts on what happened to Midnight Sparkle? Killing her off. Oh, Mara, you are talking about integrating the shadow. That's an interesting point. Friendship is magic. Very often tries to defeat then reject this evil part of myself. Like with Nightmare Moon, like with Demon Sunset, and then Midnight Sparkle. But that thirst for knowledge, that desire to learn more, that drive, that thing that pushes her to new bounds, that is not necessarily a vice. It is just something that has to be moderated, made aware. And so, yes, I see what you're saying, that in a way, Twilight didn't integrate her shadow, she rejected it. Or she feared that it was in control. Honestly, talking about revising my opinions on episodes, do princesses dream of magic sheep? I know for a lot of people they view it as an analogy for self-harm and something similar, but I look at it as integrating the shadow, recognizing parts of yourself you don't like, but bringing them into the light of awareness, of which I think self-harm is part of that warning sign that you haven't integrated this, and that's you're trying to punish yourself. when the shadow is unacknowledged, unaddressed, it begins to influence us in unconscious ways, including, it doesn't have to be anything as horrifyingly visceral as self-harm. It can be procrastination, depression, apathy, sort of a listlessness. It can influence us in so many ways. So I see what you're saying, and that gives me something to consider when I talk about it. Twilight didn't accept that Midnight Sparkle was a part of what she did. It was something she tried to reject. So, one, thank you for that question and for the further thought. I appreciate it when a question can really get my mind to churning. Like, oh, Thaddeus, what is the worst episode of MLP? Oh, man. I mean, I have my personal least favorite, which is Candlelight Wedding Part 1. Part 1, not Part 2. That's my personal least favorite, but I don't know if I could say that is the worst it's been. What would be the worst? It had to be... oh, man. I'm all choked up tonight. It would have to be one where the characters were acting needlessly cruel. And... honestly, I think that maybe... What About Discord? Was that what it's called? Yeah, the play on What About Bob? That might be one of the weakest because it was so frustrating, unfulfilling, and it kept spinning our wheels as an audience. And we stuck with it to the end, but honestly, there's a reason in our review, I had to basically invent so many skits and scenarios just to make it interesting. And who wants that, I ask you? So that might be the weakest episode of the series. Now, I think other people will say, you might say that there were others, and it's worth trading ideas on what we dislike the most. Kamodra, I cannot release the waifu. I have not imprisoned her. What? That would be a horrible thing to do to a waifu. No, if you love something, you let it go. You let it go. 'Cause I'm Batman. Let's see, Lightning Dash, I see you're not a fan of Thanks for the Memories. I actually enjoyed that episode because I like the grieving process analogy, but I get it that Rainbow goes to the extreme of sabotaging the Weather Factory, which is a pretty awful thing to do. And no, of course, My Little Pony has never been big on consequence. Matter of Principles, oh, there's another one where Discord's pretty awful, but the other ponies are indisposed. So in some ways, I find that they're so tone deaf in What About Discord? Let's see here. Prism Shard, do you like the Arrowverse? I only saw the first 2 seasons of Arrow, and I really enjoyed them. My friends who are much more avid CW watchers than they've actually become more and more frustrated with the Arrowverse. It seems like it's running out of momentum because how do you keep introducing new challenges and developing these characters? I like it, but I haven't been drawn to it in a while. Ooh. Emma Velope. What's your favorite lesson moral from My Little Pony? Ooh, that's another good question because there's a smorgasbord to choose from. But I really love the lesson of the Scaremaster, where they basically say it's okay to say I don't want to be a part of this. It's just not who I am, and your friends will respect that. Normally, in Friendship is Magic, there's usually, well, again, this is why I'm not a big fan of What About Discord. They're basically saying don't ever do something for yourself because you'll miss out on your friends and some special memory. Well, guess what? That happens. There's a consequence to any choice. Fluttershy might miss out on some great Nightmare Night memories, but she's not sacrificing her own self-care to do so. And I think that's a great lesson. A very mature lesson. So yes, I do think it's great. Lightning Dash, what is one thing you hate about MLP? Okay, also wondering why nobody dies in MLP. Well, it is a children's cartoon. I don't think... It'd be hard for these characters to talk about redemption and friendship and peace if they've taken a life. You would have to devote a sizable amount of time, more than one episode to be sure, to having them wrestle with what have I done. That's no small thing. Let's see here. Preston wondering, would I do a drinking game every time Rainbow brought up the Wonderbolts? Okay, we're talking about death at MLP. You all are trying to murder my liver. So that would be an interesting drinking game, but man, especially if you edit it all together. Century wondering what happened to the previous Fulfillment Fridays. Got some advice from Josh Scorcher that you don't want to have them pushing other videos down in your videos list. Instead, I've unlisted them and moved them to a playlist that's on my YouTube channel. So just head into this very stream will head on over there once it's completed. So just take a look at my playlists and you'll find all the Fulfillment Fridays. Rainbow, a good point. Didn't the Storm King die? Theoretically, yes. He is technically a Shattered Stone, which I suppose could be mended and reanimated. But note, he didn't die by any of the ponies' actions, but his own. He was a victim of his own malice and violence. And so in a strange way, he dies, but the ponies themselves are absolved of responsibility. I mean, at worst, Twilight would have to wrestle with the fact she couldn't catch both him and Tempest, and she chose Tempest. Well, who wouldn't have caught Tempest? Oh, okay. We've got two favorite questions. Who's your favorite Doctor Who? Asked Christine Morley. My favorite Doctor would be David Tennant's the 12th Doctor. Technically the 12th and 13th, as he regenerated into himself. So that is... he's my favorite. Especially when he dealt with the family of blood. That showed the true depth of the Doctor, and he's kind because he runs away when he could really, really ruin you. Now, my favorite, strongest MLP episode. Oh, wow, there are so many. Scaremaster, Perfect Pair. I was pretty critical of Twilight's Kingdom, but I enjoyed the ending and the Dragon Ball Z fight. Can't deny that. There are a lot of good ones. I mean, really good. And, of course, Sisterhood of Social. Such a fan of that. Oh, David Tennant is the 10th Doctor, and technically the 11th. Thank you, sweetie. Let's see here. There was also the question, didn't Sombra die? And the truth is that, yes, he done died. At least that's what I thought, but then they hit us with that silly dispelled into the ether thing, which I assume is what happened with that second death, where he rather graphically got quote-unquote dispelled. Is he dead? No, he's just dispelled in the most violent, melty way possible. Let's see here. I think for a moment, Rainbow Crew that will have to be enough. I need to start working towards Pinkie Pie Says Goodnight. For there are new Pony Life episodes tomorrow, or at least new in America. I like this music. Let's see, if Sauron was an MLP, no, he would not team up with Cozy Glow and Queen Chrysalis. Sauron is the devil. He is the ultimate evil. He would not align with others. He would make them subservient. I think with some villains, they will never dare allow someone to question who's in charge, and they won't pretend otherwise. Sauron is always, his presence is felt, even though he himself is nothing more than an eye. Let's see here. Too many. Will I ever do a collab video featuring Too Many Raptors? I won't say no, but the truth is I don't know much about Too Many Raptors. I'm not sure I've even communicated. So unfortunately, I can't give a solid yes or no. Just that, well, I wouldn't be against it. But I don't really know much about him. Well, Lightning Bliss is indeed married, so I will torment her fictional character with ships with fictional beings, but the real Lightning Bliss is married, and I always want to respect that. She knows that I don't mean it when I actually ship her, and that it's meant to prompt an argument. And as long as that understanding is there, there's a bit more free reign. It's when fans took things too far because they didn't understand this agreement that it got bad. And that's why the Flash Lightning Bliss ship had to go away. It had a good run, but one must know when it's time to end a joke. Ooh, this piano is properly melancholy. It was a good ship, a fine ship, but that ship has sailed, and now it's beyond the horizon. I'm off a clump now. I understand it was a joke, Lightning Dash, but still, let me react. Let me react. Let's see here. Could I tell you might be a redneck joke, Champ to stay? You might be a redneck brony if you say, "Oh, that there Fluttershy is the cutest ever, and I'll shoot you if you disagree, boy." I think that's the best I can offer. Let's see here. Oh dear, you haven't been hearing the music? That's strange. I thought I had. Oh dear. Wow, I've been playing this for myself. How selfish. Man, I am not hitting 1,000 out of this one tonight. I'm a little mixed up, I guess. Oh, I get what it is. Just like with setting the stream, I have to change the audio settings on my computer. Here I thought I had some music going. So I've had moments of silence where I thought the music would at least cover and let everyone know I'm still kicking. Oh dear. Well, sorry about that, everyone. Hopefully I haven't been boring you senseless then. Oh dear. Well, now there is silence. So, system preferences, sound. And let's go with multi-output device. Okay. Can you hear the music now? Oh, right as the music changes. Okay, now there's a steady beat. Well, honestly, just check the stream function, Silver. You silly Billy. How curious. Alright, well, people can hear a little bit. I can boost it a little. Anyway, back to questions. I don't know, Christine Morley. I haven't quite been rickrolled, but I will never give it up. Although I apparently did let you down. But I don't want to push you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. Let's see here. Susan, Pinkie Pie says good night. Talking with Sugar Bell. Unexpected ship. Never really would have picked Sugar Bell, but well, I was a Fluttermac fan. And Sweetie Bloom, I believe, was a fan of, gosh darn it, Chiramac. Am I right, Sweetie? Let's see here. Light and Dash, I have played Among Us a few times with friends, but it's not something I play regularly. In fact, maybe a short-term goal should be a video where I used sound effects on my teammates. And they're like, what was that? It was honestly pretty hilarious. Fluttermac turned Marble Mac. Okay, Sweetie Bloom was a Marble Mac fan. After turning away from the one true Fluttermac. But then we were all wrong. But I still like the idea of the gentle giant and the timid Flutter Pony. Maybe in another universe. An alternate universe. I got nothing against Sugar Bell. It's just, oh, hey, this is unexpected. Let's see here. What's one franchise you got into through another franchise? I got into Doctor Who through Game of Thrones, through MLP. Oh, wow. What is a franchise that I found through another franchise? Well, okay, I guess, I don't know if this would count as a franchise, but part of the reason I even checked out Friendship is Magic is because Rooster Teeth and Red vs. Blue made mention of it. So, highly unintended, but if not for Red vs. Blue, I might not have become a brony. Ain't that a thing? Now let's see here. Would Twilight defeat Sauron? Well, honestly, I don't think she would fight it directly because, again, Sauron is meant to be the devil. That's not a being you confront head on and just simply overpower. It's not a Saturday morning cartoon villain or the like. You defeat something like Sauron the way Luke Skywalker really defeated the Emperor. You stand before him and say, "Nope, you failed. You tried to corrupt me. You tried to turn me against everything I love, and you failed." Then they make the new trilogy, and they're like, "No, Luke failed." It's like, oh, y'all go to hell. You go to hell, you die. Hashtag not my Luke. So yes, I really resent The Last Jedi for how it treated Luke Skywalker. So, now that you've seen my epic fanboy rage. Sorry, Nathan, I don't know anything about Too Many Raptors. I'm going to have to look this person up. Okay, Trinary, you got me on knowledge of Lord of the Rings. I'm not even sure I remember Morgoth. Well, but hang on. If Sauron takes over and Morgoth is defeated, that means he was the second in command, the second best. Kind of like the devil was second best to God? I don't know. That would make Morgoth God. Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed. Put simply, Sauron represents an evil that is more than just something you physically defeat. It's something you overcome. Which is better, asked Lightning Dash, Spiked and Rarity or Twilight and Flash? Well, in this case, I will actually say Twilight and Flash. Because while I appreciate that Spike has a full hood crush, I can't deny the fact that he is too young for Rarity. And I think he was starting to grow out of it by series end. He still, well, he still likes rarity on some degree, I know, but I feel like it was always meant to be a boyhood crush. An adorable one, but maybe one that went on a little too long. Now, Twilight and Flash, that too, I think, wound up being just a crush. A physical attraction perhaps brought on by human hormones. I bet you Twilight didn't expect that on her journey. I feel bad for Flash, though. He never really got to evolve as a character, or to have a role. Right after Legend of Everfree, he was a cameo and not much else. Disappointment. But note that I didn't include Flash in my 3 least favorites because I know I make fun of him a lot, but that's because what else do I do? I could rail on him or be like really angry, as I've seen other fans be, but that's a different kind of fan expression. I'd rather just be silly and maybe make myself look like an utter jerk. Though, to be fair, I did make him the new Captain Literal Guard in one of my videos. And I made him so graceful. So graceful. Nathan Mearsome, have I shipped Sonic with Rainbow Dash? I've never really gone for the cross-franchise ships, so no. Besides, I was mostly a Sonic fan for the Sonic Set AM, so Amaya's Princess Sally was a great partner to Sonic, and I will always lament that the Archie comics lost Sonic, and that I feel like there could have been more. I kind of wish they would repurpose Sally to another story, because she was a great character as well. Flutter-chan. Okay, first off, I compliment your screen name. That is fantastic. Flutter-chan sugoi. Kawaii. Ogres and oubliettes with Discord, Spike, and Big Mac, yay or nay? Definitely yay. As long as it's not, like, life-threatening. But yes, definitely a yay to that. Let's see here. Sweetie, I think you need to modify that ship. It would be Weeaboo Silver by Flutter-chan OTP. Sugoi! Shipping someone with a person I've never met in person. Hitoi! Favorite place to order pizza? There's this place called Woodley's near where I live. Much better than any chain, as far as I'm concerned. I used to really enjoy Bojo's pizza, which had these really thick crusts that you could, and they provided honey, so it was a very different experience. But sadly, I believe all the Bojos have closed, so it's a no, Joe. Thaddeus, shipping. I hesitate when I ship real people, because that is suddenly crossing a line. I think it's crossing the line between treating a fictional character and making a joke, and really trying to interfere in someone else's life. Let's see here. Over on Twitch. Let's see. Riverdalem. Who is the best villain in MLP? Oh, that's a tough one because it really depends on what you're looking for. I really liked the first appearance of Tirek, when he was underpowered and he had to rely on a silver tongue. Because somehow I really like it when a villain doesn't have an all-powerful fallback. They have to make do with what they have, and in that way they're innovative. And that's why although I really enjoyed that Dragon Ball Z battle, I can't say I liked Tirek when he was having to use honey words over when he's muscle bound. And I guess that's why I'm also a little disappointed that he basically just became the muscle man, or the strong dumb guy for much of season 9. I don't think he really schemed that much. He just sort of went with the flow. And he was mostly at his funniest when he was just sitting back and letting the others do the hard work for him. Let's see. Let's see here. Lightning Dash. Your name itself is a ship. How can I ship you with someone when you are a ship between rivals? But if you want, I will ship you with Tom the Boulder. It's a rock-solid relationship. But careful, it's all downhill from there. Nothing in particular. I've watched parts of Clone Wars and all of Rebels. I really should. I haven't gotten to see the lost season of Rebels that recently made an appearance. I should. Because, not Rebels, Clone Wars. I even watched the Boba Fett introduction of, what was it? The Star Wars Holiday Special, but the less we say about that particular thing, the better. Heavens to Betsy. Preston, here's the thing. While the Emperor and Sauron might both represent a corruptive evil, Sauron is very different from the Emperor in my eyes. He's not a physical force that you can just chuck down. Ultimately, destroying the ring is rejecting the physical, everything he uses to tempt you. He's only destroyed when he realizes he has no hold over you. The Emperor is destroyed when he loses control of his main servant and, well, takes the long plunge. Oh, this doesn't look right. Ugh. Let's see if I can adapt Pinkie Pie. Oh yes, there's a Lego Star Wars Holiday Special now where Rey time travels and meddles with other series. I would give that a watch. I'll give it a watch just because... well, it looks silly and it looks fun. And honestly, we could just use a little bit of fun. And if you can have a good laugh at Star Wars, I think you can laugh at something you love. That shows you're more mature than someone who is on the defensive. I say this as I've been a fan of several shows where I've wound up being pretty defensive myself. Learning from my own mistakes, so to speak. Okay, now if I sing along with the music, you can actually kind of hear it. I lost my mojo? Oh no, crikey. I lost my mojo. But by creating, I get it back. Oh, Flutterchan, hidoy! You've never watched Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, or Marvel, or Star Wars. I'm curious, what do you watch then? Because, okay, in the average nerd culture, that seems like a big to-do, but it's really, watch what you want. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. Unless it's the game Sock It To Me, then that's self-explanatory. All right, Fan Man Third. Have a good night. Although going to bed to political news, I fear that would give more nightmares than anything. But hey, again, you do you. So have a good night and a good rest. Honestly, I don't think I could fall asleep watching TV. Too much stimulation. I'm one of the people who... I can never just watch a show. I've got to be doing something with my brain. Even if it is thinking too hard about something that's meant to be just silly entertainment. But then I also don't agree with people who try to dismiss a critique based on, oh, it's just a kid's show. Well, that's rather insulting towards children, isn't it? In which case, how dare? How dare? You know, I'll tell you true, Candle Crystal Animations, I'm actually not that big a Turkey fan. It's often too dry. There are, however, very noteworthy exceptions. Case in point, if there's ever like a turkey leg at, say, a Renaissance fair, or there's a culinary get together downtown that obviously got skipped this year, and I find a turkey leg, I feel like a Neanderthal just bite into it, and I love it. Love it, me a good turkey leg. What would be the worst and best show to get trapped in? Asks Thaddeus Fisher. Well, okay, I will admit, right now I wouldn't mind being trapped in My Little Pony. I mean, if you're going to be anywhere, you might as well be a happy place that you can explore and get to know, and maybe enjoy emotional honesty. The word, but kind of at the opposite end. If I got trapped in Leave It to Beaver, oi. True story. In a sociology class, we compared an episode of The Simpsons, early one, versus an episode of Leave It to Beaver. And I actually like The Simpsons a lot more because June Cleaver is not a nice woman. She's actually incredibly shallow. And I really disliked her. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is supposed to be the American mom? No, thank you. So being trapped in that artificial world, I realize how redundant that sounds, given that this is all fiction. But Leave It to Beaver was sort of, I think, a way we never were, but we like to pretend it. So I'd rather go for, again, emotional honesty. My Little Pony, you feel something for the characters, and it's legit. Leave It to Beaver, the characters are just an illusion. It's no wonder they've been satirized so much. So, wow, you're hearing all manner of thunder from me on Star Wars and Leave It to Beaver. Let's see. Preston wondering, what would Sauron's last words be before being turned to stone? Again, not sure if he'd be turned to stone like a regular villain, but let's just say that he would probably just be like, stupid hobbits. Or maybe Shire. Baggins. Waifu. Hearing Sauron say waifu, that would be something. Your Lightning Dash, your friend ship you with feather bangs. Well, he needs to learn to talk to people as equals. So there you go. That would actually be an interesting relationship conflict. Let's see. Well, and the music died. Oh, bye, bye, this here Pinkie Pie. The worst villain I remember seeing movies and TVs or books. Not worst as an evil, just not a good villain. Oh, Lord. You know, the bad guy from The Fifth Element. I remember watching him. I know people really like The Fifth Element. But I watched that guy. I was like, this is supposed to be our head bad guy? He's pathetic. This is utterly lame. It's a lame villain. Why would you be so lame? I mean, he nearly dies from a cherry. And we're supposed to think he's intimidating. He's really there to be a non-villain. He's a motivation, and an obstacle, but not really anything I would consider to be a legitimate threat. I feel that there are still... I am willing to bet that there are people who would heartily disagree with me. There we go. Watch as I transmogrify Pinkie Pie into Sugar Belle. Ah, Illuminati confirmed. Let's see. Wow, now it feels eerily quiet. I've been listening to music this whole time. So, sorry. But now it just feels eerily quiet and spooky. And Halloween was such a non-event for me. Actually, I asked my friends at work what any suggestions on how to get rid of Halloween candy, as I never got to give out even a single bar. And like, oh, just give it to me, I'll take it. And it's like, okay, sure. So tomorrow I'll be schlepping in candy. Oh, champ. Jesse and James from Pokemon. They are all right. They are good at being villains in my eyes. They're just better at being people. They're silly and eccentric and weird at times, but you can't help but root for them whenever they're trying to just be themselves. When they just want to commit to who they are, as opposed to say James and his family and cutting ties with them, but at the same time caring about them. And it's those moments where they care, when they're not just cookie cutter villains, that I find them quite delightful. So I think Jesse and James are a very unique breed of villainy, and ones that I can both enjoy their attempts at being evil, but also celebrate their very human moments. Actually, I'd argue that they're some of the best villains in anime, specifically because they're not just cookie cutter. And there is that. I've heard this criticized in a lot of anime, and I've been curious about if it has some other meaning. It's this old argument: from like super villains, if I kill everyone, there will be no more suffering, and that's supposed to be their entire motivation. And I've heard so many people lambast it, with good reason, I think. And then I kind of wonder, does this harken back to some older philosophy, something in Japanese culture I'm missing? Because it is almost always Japanese stories that employ this. I've read Ali Penner. I've read Good Omens. I haven't seen the live action yet. I thought it was a fun movie, fun book, fun concept, but not given the fact that it was co-written by Terry Pratchett. I'm still more a Discworld fan. Let's see here. Shrink down because Sugar Bell is the startled. Let's see here. Sarah, Colin, I too am a little tired. It's been, and Riverdale, sorry, also going to bed. So have a good night. Get a good rest. It's understandable. We're about to pack it up. I need to get some dinner and keep going on this here Pinkie Pie. So that'll be my evening. It's not Pinkie Pie is less involved because or visually interesting, I think, to see put together, because it's very often cut and paste and modify to save on time. It's not build from scratch. Saffron the Bounty Hunter. Thank you for following and welcome. Well, let's see here. What do Champ stay wondering? What sense does Marble Pie have, as her sisters all have a certain awareness? I think if Marble is so quiet and can communicate, her sense would probably be picking up on subtle manipulations or variances. I'll bet you anything a changeling can't trick Marble Pie, because she's always looking and observing, and as a result she can probably pick up on a fake or a variance very easily. That would be, I realize changelings are no longer the prime antagonist, but it would be funny if Marble is somehow a changeling detector. Oh, Prism Shard. We're going back to the speedsters. In a battle between Archie, Sonic, and Wally West, I still think Wally's got the advantage in speed. And honestly, having fought more than just Robotnik he's fought entire whole legions, galleries of villains. He might actually be more experienced than Sonic. Hana-chan, meow. It's noon where you are, but it's just about 8 o'clock where I am, p.m. Thank you, Trinary, for your donation. Much appreciated as ever. Although, okay, in military time, it's what? Just about 2000? Is that how you say it? 2000 hours? We'll be meeting at the stick in, 15 minutes. Let's see here. Having just created this background, I must now destroy it. So, I think we're at a good stopping point. Getting back in the game with streaming has proved to be a little bit quirky. So I appreciate everyone's patience. Oh, Hana-chan Meow is in Australia. Oh, give my best to Anthony C., please. I had the great pleasure of visiting Australia, but it was a long time ago in my, what was it, junior year of high school. Oh, thank you, Candle Crystal Animations. Now, Flutterchan, you are about an hour behind me, which means you're on the West Coast. Oh, and meanwhile, over on Twitch, Drinking Buddy, once again admitting he's not getting much sleep. Oh, Sweetie Bloom, gonna be mad at you. You're in trouble now. Of course, I really shouldn't criticize. I'm on the same boat usually. I will admit, thanks to this post-Thanksgiving day off, I had the immense pleasure of sleeping in today. It's delicious. Let's see here. Actually, I should do this. Shouldn't be shrinking it. I should be expanding. Sorry, Preston. Chrysalis, I don't think will be a part of the next Pinkie Pie Says Goodnight. I've got other ideas, other plans. Plus, I had Pinkie squash a mini Chrysalis at the start of this whole thing, so she's had her comeuppance. Alrighty, everyone. Oh, I'm not off the hook, Sweetie Bloom, but, well, I can delight as someone else is under your scrutiny. Let's see here. Sarah mentioning fear of mortality. Believe me, that is very natural. Honestly, I think there's a lot of people who share that fear. I myself wrestle with it. And, well, it takes on special meaning when as I say, this Thanksgiving we had a lot of hard news. Life hits you with the duality of birth and death. So, here's the thing. You don't have to get over that fear tonight. And you don't have to deal with it right away. It's something we wrestle with for a while. And it's perfectly normal to be unsure. So, I guess what I'm really saying is don't beat yourself up for being unsure of things. Here we go. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's see here. Oh, Brony for Life 1982. Sleep well and hope to see you at another PonyCon. I would love that. I so look forward to just getting back into the convention scene. And I'm hoping, I don't think early next year has a lot of optimism to it in that regard, but I'm hoping by the middle of next year, we might see a resurgence. I will, however, applaud the Brony fandom, which has really been ahead of the curve in terms of setting up online conventions. I'm hoping other fandoms may take note and say, hey, this worked. We should try this. But for me, nothing can surpass getting to see people in person at a convention. Anyway, everyone, I think now is a very good time to call it a night, to wish everyone well, to have a good dinner, and just enjoy a weekend. As Sweetie Bloom declares, I'm everyone's mama. So I wish you all a wonderful evening, a restful weekend, and just good times. So I'm